Right, I'm going to try this again and see if this works. Having some technical issues tonight. We will get there though. We are back though. Let me just get everything set up ready. I think we're pretty good to go. Just give it 30 seconds and then we'll jump in. Right, so here we are. This is Tourist Bus Simulator again. Quite enjoyed the run last night across the island. We went from south to north last night. So we talked about going back the other way and via a slightly different route as well. So we're going to go from Coralejo up in the north. We're going to go past the airport down the right hand side of the island there. And we're going to be working our way back down through Costa Calma and then ending up at Corfetti, which is where we started from last night. So I'm going to get ready to go. This is our route. So if I continue with that. Now then, let's go with the Mercedes-Benz. I'm going to change the livery today, I think. Let's go with something different. Let's go with the red one. The red one's quite nice. Let's just accept that. I think weather-wise we'll stick to the sun. Control scheme, I'm going to go with arcade for this one again. It's just easier to do that and read the chat as we go. And we'll click start and then we'll be ready to go. So, just a couple of days to go now until this releases. That's the good news. No news of a patch yet, or any kind of patch notes even. But we'll wait and see. Hopefully we'll get something in early access tomorrow. Let's turn my volume down, because I can't even hear myself speak, which would help. That's better. Right, so I think everybody's on board. So let us get ready to depart. Let's just check the map once more. So we are up here at the top. And we are coming all the way down to Puerto del Rosario. I think that's our first stop actually. I don't think we've got anywhere else, have we, before that? No. That is it. So, give me 1 second. Right, I'm back. So let's depart. it's 35 kilometres actually to our first stop, and it helps if I take the right turn. And that is me looking in the chat once again. Let's restart. So a good 35 kilometre run. So this route, as we discussed last night, this route avoids all the windy mountain paths that we took last night. Takes us back past where our company base is when we're in career mode, past the airport and down the eastern side of the island this time. Then we get to look at a bit more of the island. So I hope everybody's looking forward to this. Last night's stream was fairly popular. I know a few of you are excited about picking it up. What I will say is, since I put out the video about the buses that are available in the game, just double check before you pick it up, just double check which ones release with the game. That list of buses that I showed off, majority of those will be in the game, but some of them are going to be paid DLCs. So I just want to make sure you check before you pick the game up, because you won't get that full list of buses on day one. Made aware of that. Just wait for the Volvo to get out of the way. Come on. There we go. So a lot of this side's motorway, so we get to cover quite a bit of distance this way. There's the coastline just ahead. So we're going to work our way down this side of the map for a little while until we pick up the main road that we were on last night, just before we moved inland last night and went up the mountain path, so to speak. It was the mountain road, but we'll say the mountain path, why not? It's actually 110 kilometers per hour down this motorway, which is a decent speed. Just such a relaxing game to play, you know. Heavy on the brakes, they're very, very heavy. Should pay more attention. I'm looking forward to these curbs and pavements being patched as well, and with the bush pop-up that we've currently got, that'll make a massive difference just to start with. It's a very steep hill. So thanks for coming in once again, I appreciate it. Hope you're looking forward to this coming out Thursday. Not long to wait now, and you can get your hands on it. Let's just quickly go out of the bus, then we can see what is coming towards us, because there's a blind spot there. There we go. So we've still got 14 kilometres to the next stop. Oh wow, he disappeared. Where did he go? I, I would definitely have come off worse there, I think, with that one. It's I like being in this view, but it's sometimes a little bit weird to steer in this view. I think because I can't get any nearer to the bus. I think that's the issue. I'd like to zoom in a little bit, ideally, but I can't do that. I don't think there is a way you can do that. So you're kind of anticipating the steering a little bit. Whereas when you're in the cab view, you can obviously steer real time, if that makes sense. You know, you're in the bend, so you can steer around the bend. From outside, it's much more difficult. So that will count as an accident, I'm sure, once we get to the end of mission summary screen, but we'll take it. We're allowed at least one bump. So not far to our first stop. Then we'll take a look at the map and I'll show you once again where we are and where we're headed. We are going right across the island again, but we went south to north last night. Now we're going north to south via a slightly different route, just so you can see the other side of the island. And between the two streams you should be able to see not all of the island, because there are some bits in the middle we weren't able to cover, but you'll see a fair bit of that. So that flashing curb will be fixed that you can see there on the roundabouts. One thing I didn't do actually, which is a bit confusing now, in the planner I didn't take out the return trip. So once we get to the end it will ask us to go back again. We won't do that, but all the way around the roundabout, because our bus stop is on the other side. Here it is, this is the first one. We'll probably fill the bus pretty quick, to be honest. Let's check outside. Everybody's getting on. Okay, we're ready to go. There we go. So we're back on track now. Our next stop is in 16 kilometers. And it's Castillo Caleta de Fuste. I can't read that on that HUD. I've struggled to see it. It's far too small for me. So there's the airport just ahead. We'll just quickly flick the map up and then you can see where we are. So we've started up at the top. We started up here at Caralejo. We've come all the way down this left hand side the right-hand side, I'm sorry. And we're just approaching the airport, and then from the airport we come in, land slightly past Grand Tarahal where we were last night, and we are then on the main road all the way down south to end up at Corfetti again. So that's the plan. So a lot of this is fairly fast road. So we actually need to slow down here. This is a 60. I've actually took the wrong turn there, haven't I? Right, let's just do that. Hope you guys can hear me okay, by the way. I did have some technical issues right at the beginning, so I'm hoping that it's all fine and the stream is okay. So we just went past the airport. And we've got 6 kilometres to the next stop. A lot of roundabouts on the island, as you would expect. I guess you would need plenty of roundabouts because people are not going to let the buses out, are they? I imagine there are a lot of buses on the island in reality. So, speaking of which, we'll slow down for this one. We might be able to beat this minibus out of there. So far I haven't spent much time actually on this part of the island. In the first look we looked at the oh, there's aircraft coming in there as well, that's a nice touch. In the first look we spent some time around the airport, but I haven't been back to this side of the island yet. So it's nice to see a different area. Hello Jessica, how are you doing? Thanks for coming in. And Jeffer, hi Jeffer. I think I'm competing with British Age tonight, so it's quite quiet. He just jumped in there in front of me, the little tinker. I'm good, thanks. How are you? Let's just check outside, make sure everybody's on. Let's get in. We are going the opposite way across the island to where we were last night. So we're going down to Cafetti again, down in the south, but we're actually taking this western side of the island. Just so you can see. So we've come along this route here, this coastal route. We've come along here. We've just gone through Puerto del Rosario and the airport. We just passed the airport and we're down here just at the moment. So we're about to go inland slightly, just following the main road all the way down to Cafetti. So we went the opposite direction last night in the stream. Faris, thanks for coming in. Can you play already with the steering wheel? Not yet. Steering wheel support is in for Logitech and Fanatec steering wheels, I believe. and it should be enabled in the day one patch. But right now on this early release, no, there is no wheel support in the early release, which is what I'm playing. Early access, I should say, not early release. It's coming though. I think it was always planned to be in, and they'll have certainly heard the feedback. Yeah, thanks, Jeffer. So 21 kilometers on to the next stop, La Mata. Still need to master that braking. So as I said, it's fairly fast road along this side of the island, to be honest. A lot of the route we took last night was the slower stuff. You got a G29. You know, I was just saying to somebody today, I think just based on the comments that I've had about steering wheels, I think half the world owns a G29, which is great. I don't own a wheel, unfortunately. I haven't got the room for it just now where I am, but certainly this will be a great game with a wheel. It plays pretty well on controller though, to be honest, but for that genuine feel, obviously a wheel's going to be much better. Yeah, Jessica, lots of people not only have just asked me about wheels, but they specifically mentioned the G29, so I've come to learn that is one of the more popular models, it seems. Now what I did there was, I was trying to oversteer and I pressed in the left stick too much, and that's why it reset the bus. So that was completely unintentional. I keep doing that on occasion when we reach a sort of tight corner. So there is the ability, if you flip the bus or if you crash or go off-road, you can reset the bus. It should hopefully put you back on the main road, and that is on PlayStation. That's pressing in the left stick does that, and you saw there the screen goes black, and it kind of resets everything, which is good because you don't want to get stuck, especially when you're on a long route such as this one. You see the coastline there still off to our left. We're just tracking along this side. Oh, there's another. That's me reading what Jessica's just put. Sorry about that. My driving's terrible tonight. I was reading about the Logitech G29 again there. So the G29 is quite an affordable one. That makes sense then, yeah. It does. Sorry, Farah, how you doing? That last, I did do an attempt and I did see you in the stream, but I had some technical difficulties and it crashed on me. So I wondered if you would be able to turn up again. Sorry about that. That's a problem at my end this time. Jessica says there's a bus stop by the way. We need to stop for that. Let me stop and I'll read the chat. That might be a good idea. Everybody's getting on. Jessica says the environment looks interesting for a driving game. Getting Iceland vibes. Yeah, it is very Icelandic, isn't it? Jaffa says this game's really good, even using the controller. It's one map, lots to do, managing the company, driving, fixing, buying, selling, and many things yet. So we'll, in some future streams, we'll do the career mode. I think just before it comes out, it's good to show you all the map, and you're there for the driving in the main, aren't you? So to be able to show off the driving and what's available. Hi Dave, how are you? Have I tried the customize setting yet? Saw me trying this realistic. Oh, the controls. Yeah, hopefully that video is useful. I put that out there because right now it's a bit fiddly. It's a bit fiddly for me. I didn't play Bus Sim 21, of course, but the original Bus Sim, we had the wheel that came up in the middle, which did a similar thing, didn't it? Where there was some additional controls there that you could select, and this is very similar. Off stream, what I'll do is I'll have a bit more of a practice with that and start to use those controls. But the customized controls are just, as I said in the video, they're just the realistic controls, but you can just deselect a few of them at a time if you like, then you're not having to control everything. But until you get used to driving, you may want to just use these arcade controls because it's straightforward. It's what we're all used to on any driving game. So we've got 21 kilometres to the next stop. And you guys can tell when I read the chat because I end up hitting somebody or something. If you're just joining now, those flashing curbs around the roundabout, that will be fixed on day one. So don't worry about that too much. It does look pretty naff just now, but oh, hi Stephen, how you doing? Oh, you were watching the realistic control video too. Yeah, hopefully that's useful for everybody. Just driving slow while I look at the chat. Yep, it's a volcanic island. Some of the vehicles are licensed. This one isn't. It's a Mercedes-Benz and it's actually called MB, but of course they're not allowed to mention Mercedes-Benz, so they've called it an MB, but for all intents and purposes it is a Mercedes-Benz. They've just not got permission. The cars as well you see going past are quite easily identifiable as well. There's a lot of Audi TTs going past, and there's Range Rovers and BMWs, you name it, you can see them, but they're obviously not allowed to give them the real names, but the assets are there in the game. Oh, Dave, you played Bus Sim 21. Have a word with Stephen, who's in the chat. He didn't enjoy Bus Sim 21. I think you're at opposite ends of the spectrum there. Jaffa says Bus Sim 21 looks cartoony. I've heard that off a lot of people. I didn't play it. I skipped it. I mainly skipped it at the beginning. The price was a lot different, wasn't it? The price of the first Bus Sim was pretty reasonable. What was it? Was it about 30 quid? 32 quid, something like that. And I think this one was nearly full price, wasn't it? And it wasn't a next gen game, was it? Bus Sim 21? Was it still last gen? Was there a PS5 version, for example? I seem to recall it wasn't next gen, and that put me off a little bit, I think, for that price. Yeah, 45. Right. Concentrate where I'm going. So many roundabouts. Some of this AI doesn't want to stop, you know. It's you got to keep your wits about you. Mind you, they probably think I'm just as mad with some of the crashes that I'm having. They're probably going that fast to get out of my way. Right, let's do a map check. So we started right at the top of the island there at Coralejo. We've come all the way down this right hand side. We've come down here past the airport, which is here. We made a stop there. We've come inland a little bit. We're winding our way down. That's where we currently are. Sorry, that's where we currently are. This is the section that we're in. The highlighted section is between the last bus stop and the next one, which is down here at La Hita. So we will be stopping there and then coming back up onto the main road again and working our way past Costa Calma tonight. We're not stopping there tonight. Coming right round the edge, right round this coast, and back up to Confetti. So you remember last night, if you caught last night's stream, if not, that one's worth having a look at. We came this way, we came down to Gran Tarajal, and then we went, let me zoom out a little bit, we went across the map up to Pajora, and then we went through this windy mountain pass over the top, back down again. We went up to Tindaya, which is there, through La Olivia, and then we went up to Coralejo. So we went south to north last night, and today we're just going the other way. Just so I can show you the size of the map, really. But I have to say, this is obviously the early access copy. There'll be a few things improved, but I've been enjoying it, to be honest. I haven't got into the career mode much. There's a lot to do in the career mode. I just wanted to drive and see what the driving was like, to be honest. Career mode is something that I'll pick up in the future streams, I think. Thanks everyone for coming in though, I do appreciate it. If you hit the thumbs up button for me, I'll be even more appreciative. Start to slow down here. Dave's going to buy a tourist bus on Thursday when you get back. Nice. Nice, Dave. And Stephen said had some random on Twitter complaining about the lack of roads in the game. Oh, in this game? There's loads of roads, yeah. There's loads of roads. And, oh, and this, Stephen, this is what you were telling me. This is the place, isn't it? What I was meant to do is go around the back like this. You did point that out to me the other night, that I actually did a U-turn instead of following the road. I've got it now. I understand it now. Lack of roads, yeah. There's no lack of roads. They must be playing a different game. I think it's fine, to be honest. And you've immediately got access to free play, so you can go where you want. When we get to the other end at Confetti, I'm going to show you. I mentioned it last night, but I'm going to show you something when we get to Confetti, which also shows there are other things to do as well. Let's just pick these guys up. You have to scroll. I don't like having to scroll through the different views to get to the outside view. That's a bit of a pain, to be honest. People are not getting on. That suggests the bus is already full. Yeah, they're walking away from the bus. There's no seats. Right, let's jump back in. Got a traffic jam immediately. So, as I mentioned in today's video, as I've got the arcade controls on, the bus doors do open and shut on their own. You don't need to do anything. If you're using that realistic system, of course, you have to stop, put the handbrake on, open the doors, let people on and off before you can move off. It's just easier this way. Feels a little bit like cheating, but it's in there for a reason, so let's use it. Okay, this is a VW in front, isn't it? That's what it looks like. VW transporter. Right, he's going to go my way now, isn't he? Come on. Dave says, check for the fur dodges. Yep. As we did for our old friend, the original bus sim. Yeah, there's obviously no ticketing or anything on this. I will just draw your attention to that distant scenery though. I mean, that looks pretty good. Let's be fair. You know, I've no arguments there with that. Yes, correct, Jeffer. This is Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. We had a viewer on yesterday, didn't we, that has been here and said it's pretty close to what it actually is in real life. Stephen says, mentioned the other day, the AI is set to 75%. Is it the same as in racing games? Higher number equals better. Wow. There I'm reading chat again. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I simply turned it down because I was getting a couple of traffic jams in places, and that's the reason I turned it down originally. I don't know if it makes any difference to. I don't know what real difference it makes to the way the game works, if that's what you mean. You know, do you mean do they behave better if they're set at 100? The game knows what it should be doing with them. Is that what you mean? Oh, you do check the tickets, do you, Jaffa, on the shuttle service? Okay, yeah. So Jaffa's played this on PC quite a bit, so you're a bit ahead of most of us, Jaffa, on that. So if there's anything you can throw into the chat there, please do that. Look at the sand there coming up. The sand cloud looks pretty good. This is like on the road. I feel like I should be over on this right hand side, so I'm going to move over. Still got 8 kilometres to the next stop. Looks like it could be an Audi A3 there. Q3, I should say. There's a TT, look. So if you don't do anything else, you can just go car spotting. There's a Volvo. There's a Ford. We're on a roll now, I think. So honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised. Just mentioned at the beginning that there aren't going to be many buses available, it seems, in the game as the standard game as you buy it. Jaffa, if you know exactly what those buses are that come with it, please pop that in the chat, because I struggle to remember which ones are which, because I'm not a massive bus expert by any means, so the names don't really mean much to me. I will admit that, but it's important to know which ones you're going to get when you actually buy the game. The rest that appear, apart from a couple which weren't meant to be in there, are going to be paid DLCs. There's a Range Rover Velour on the right hand side. Let's see if we've got room for anybody. Stephen says, watching you drive looks as if they have a decent physics model where the vehicle looks like it behaves authentically, not just on rails like most sims. Yeah, you can lose control. There was one last night where I was actually coming up a hill. It was kind of a, I don't know if you saw it, it was a kind of humpback bridge effect. And I was going fast up one side. I reached the hump on the top and I lost control and I span it into the barriers. And it actually took me by surprise. So you're right, the physics are quite realistic in that respect, because I didn't expect it to happen. I just was going too fast and kind of lost it. So it's just trying. It was at the beginning, pretty much at the beginning of last night's live stream. So if you didn't watch that, just go back and have a look. It was quite funny actually. Oh, you did see it? Yeah, I did. It just lost grip. Exactly right. Exactly right. It was as if the wheels. I was going that fast over the hump. It was as if the wheels lifted off. So I don't know what it's like in the rain. I don't know whether the rain has any effect on physics as well. But it's possible. I did notice it suffers from the same thing that Train Sim World did to begin with, which is when it is raining, the ground doesn't look very wet. Whether or not rain does affect the physics, Jaffa will tell us. Jaffa said, this bus that I'm driving will be DLC. Yep, thanks for that, Jaffa. The other thing I've talked about as well is, as we were just talking about on the road earlier, was there is no snap back to the middle when you look left and right, as we've got in on the road. That was a useful addition when they put that in. So different developer, of course, you know, we don't expect developers to follow each other, but it would be nice if you could snap back to the middle when you look left and right at those roundabouts. Doesn't do that currently. More drifting sand. I'm actually speeding here. I need to slow down a little bit. So we're actually near to the end of this run. So this is a very scary section. Let me just come out of the bus to show you. I'll try and do this bit out of the bus. As I said last night, you would not want to go off the edge of here, would you? Are you timed on the map runs? Dave says. No. You do get additional points if you're on time. So at the end, it gives you a summary screen and it tells you if you left the bus stop on time, if you arrived on time, if you left any passengers behind, you know, that sort of thing. If you were caught in any speed traps. So you're not timed as such, but it does give you a kind of status update to tell you how you did. If you're playing the career mode, I'm not sure yet, because as I said, I haven't been into it yet, but I don't know in career mode if it matters. It may do, because I just grounded it then, you see that? It may matter in career mode because you're running a business as well as being the driver, so it may do. Just let me look at the chat again. Jessica says, how many vehicles can you have in the game? So, let me just reverse because I went too far. I drifted. We can have a look at that as DLCs. Yeah, nothing affects it in on the road, does it? Really? This is a shame. Oh, so there's the information from Stephen. There are 9 DLC buses on PC. 750 to 1350. I don't know if that's steep or not. Anybody who's a fan of buses will be able to tell me if these buses are accurately and realistically enough modelled to justify a price like that. I think on Train Sim World, when we buy a local DLC, those of us who like trains will say they're pretty well done, aren't they? So you can kind of justify the price tag for one of those. I don't know with this one. Someone who knows buses better than me would have to tell me that. Grounded it again. So let me just pull over here a second. Let's just see if anybody goes past me. Don't think they're going to, are they? Let me just catch up with the chat. Yeah, Stephen, let that sink in when the game's £23. You're right, yeah. So Train Sim World, the base game is always very cheap, isn't it, as well? It's the DLCs that make the money. So you don't get the buses, Dave says, in the game that's being used on this map. Not this one. There is a minibus in the game, but not this one. The one that I'm in now is £6. Yeah, I think this one's quite good, you know, £6. I would pay £6 for this. I would pay £6. So here's a hill start. I just wanted to show you before we get to this last stop that for the person on Twitter that was complaining to you, Stephen, about not enough roads, there are official roads, and there is this one. I'm going to show you this. There's a few of these, so you can go off track. So we're completely off track here. I'm not going to worry about grounding it. It's very bumpy down here. because there's also things to discover. I think a little bit like the collectibles on Train Sim World. I know some of you have played Train Sim World. So there's things you can collect. There is, in career mode, there it goes again. There is a sand buggy, which is in quite a state, which is sat at your company base. And it looks as if you're able to repair that. Jaffa will fill us in on that. So you must be able to find parts around the island to restore the sand buggy, which is a nice touch. So there's lots of things to discover. Let's just get down here to this. I just wanted to show you. So if you get bored of doing official routes, you can just do something like this. Because as I understand it, the map is completely roamable. You can get out and walk, which is what I'm going to show you. You're not just confined to the bus itself. There's a copy Jaffa in the channel. You're right, there's two Jaffas. I recognise your avatar, Jaffa. Right, we're nearly there. I think the cost of the DLC is it comes down to we've said this, haven't we, with different games. Train Sim World again being a perfect example. It depends how much enjoyment you get out of the game. If you can enjoy the full game without buying the additional DLCs, every bit of the map, for example, is playable. You're not going to lose out on sections of the map or anything like that. It's purely vehicles that you can buy. So it depends really whether you think there is enough of a better experience if you buy a different bus. If that makes sense. Okay, now I've really grounded it. Look at that. So what I'll do is, let me just go back in. Let's jump out while we're here. So this is what I mean. And you can go into this view as well, into third person. And you can just literally jump out and explore. Which I think is pretty good. Now, what I did try to do is get to the top of this lighthouse, but that is actually blocked. You can't do that, unfortunately. There's no way to get up the lighthouse, which would have been excellent. But you can go down to the beaches. You can explore all the way around, which is pretty good. I mean, it's getting a bit scary now. But yeah, so Jessica, you wish there was a similar thing in Euro Truck Simulator 2. Yeah, it's pretty good. Not a lot of people will use this. Not a lot of people will want to do this, but it's good fun, isn't it? Just gives you another perspective, especially if you've bought those DLC buses and you want to have a look at them from the outside. This is a good way to do it. The passengers are sat in there thinking, this is all well and good, but can you just take us to the final stop? We don't want to be here right now. Look at them, they look scared to death. You've got this lady on her phone. She's ringing the police. Now she's hiding it. The rest of these guys are very quiet. I don't want to annoy him anymore. Let's turn around. We'll go to the outside view for this, or I will probably ground it again. That's interesting, isn't it? It's put me into those controls to start the engine. Why is it not? I wonder if you found our first glitch. Oh no, there we go. You know what it was. It did it, it was just delayed. That was a strange one. Okay. That was very odd. How strange. You saw the realistic menu came up as well, which is very odd. If the game ticks the box, Stephen says when he starts playing, I'll guarantee I'll pick up all the DLCs and a bus fan. Yep. Yep. That's good. And what they've modelled regarding the island and its roads is spot on. Dave says no coastal path to walk. There are some paths there. There's no coastal path just there, but in other areas there are some paths down to the beaches, which is quite interesting. And sand was blowing into the bus. That's probably what they were complaining about, wasn't it? As well as not being able to get to their final destination. But the good news is we're going to take them right now. We're going to make that final stop. I mean, this road is going to be a bit scary at night. It's difficult enough now to navigate, to be honest. But I just wanted to show you that you can go off-road. And there are some places to see, such as that lighthouse. And, oh, I'm already losing the road. And at night as well, the lighthouse obviously does work. It is shining a light. We'll make it back up to the main road. Hopefully we can get there with all 4 tyres still on there. He says. So Dave, you'll probably buy the Merc DLC. That's good. Yeah, it's good, this one. It is nice, this bus. And it is a good bus to get used to. Some of the buses are quite big. So, with some of the turns being so tight, you might want to get used to the island first before you upgrade to something bigger in the game. And oh, you've had your email, Stephen. Nice. So it's shipped. Brilliant. What's it like, Car Mechanic 2021? Yeah, I did look at it, to be honest. I think I saw on Twitter you were getting into that. This is a PS5 version, isn't it, as well, I think. Oh, what the hell was that? There was another grounding, wasn't it? It sounded as if I hit a big rock. Not to worry, we'll just avoid that side. So the good thing is, as I mentioned last night, you don't get realistic damage. The bus companies wouldn't allow it, I heard. If they're using the real licenses, they don't like to see them in a bad state of disrepair. So you'll get the noises, the crashing noises, but you won't see the physical effects of that damage. Right, so we're back on the main road, so let's navigate back up to this stop. We've got 7 kilometres. The sun is really bright, even in the PC version, because the island's really hot in real life. Yep. PS5 version of Car Mechanic dropped the other week. Yeah, I thought I saw you were playing that. I didn't play the previous one either. I must admit, but it's something I did take a look at. So I might give that a look. So let's just stop. I just want to show you the coast again. The coast is pretty well done. Let's just get outside again. I mean, that coastline's pretty good. The waves are actually moving there. You can see the waves breaking on the top. So it looks pretty good. It has that. It does have that tourism feel about it. It does put you in that mode of being on an island. I'm not sure about these roads. I'm not so keen on these ones. But when I've been to the Canary Islands, and you do your hotel transfer, don't you, from the airport? You go from the airport to your hotel, and you always get on one of these big coaches, and you do often wonder how the hell they get down these roads. Not these roads, but the roads in the towns. There's some very small towns, and they wind their way around. It does give you that feeling, actually. So from an immersion perspective, yeah, I'll give them that one. I've been pleasantly surprised. So we've got a little tarmac section here now as we pick up the road through the town. This is Confetti. And we need to go up here and turn. Well, no, actually it's asking us to turn. I think it's just asking us to turn here. There's a little turning point we can use. So the beach down there, you see, you can... Okay, these guys are taking the mickey now, aren't they? The beach down there, you can fully walk down there. We'll do that just before we finish, I'll show you. Let's just get into the stuff. Oh, it's busy down here, isn't it? Let's just pull in. Hi Alexander, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Thanks for the video, like the channel and we'll play the game. Oh, that's nice of you. Thanks very much. What's the best bus to start with your business? So if you... wow, look at the passengers there, morphing out of the ground. I will show you which is the best bus to start with, Alexander, in a second. If you just stay there for 1 second. Just want to show you this. God, I'm getting all tongue-tied. This is the statistics screen that I was telling you about, Dave, where it gives you some stats on how many passengers, how many stops you fulfilled, whether you arrived on time. So we arrived 14% of the time on time, which is very low, but we're only demoing. Apparently, I went for a speed trap. The radar control got me once. I don't know where that was, but I can imagine that was true because I was speeding a couple of times. So that's good fun. Just shows you a little bit about what you did, and it gives you an overall percentage, 63%. So you can try and beat your score. This is free mode, of course. So, you know, whatever you do, you just jump in, do that, and jump back out again. Whereas career mode obviously carries on session to session. So it's a little bit more important in career mode. Let me do this. I'm hoping it's gonna... has it put me back? Where am I now? Let me look on the map. Right, it's put me all the way back to the top. Let me just quickly come out of this, because I wanted to show you something down at that beach, so I will just start a new route. and then I'll show you which bus to start with, Alexander. If I do a new game, I have this route set up. So bus-wise, the one that I would recommend to start with, which you will get, is this one, the BB40, which is the smallest one in the game. And again, you can change your livery. There's various liveries that are in there, predefined. Or you can use the colour palette, of course, and just create your own, which is there. So you've got some, you've got some different variations. Let me just tell you what else there is. See, when I put that video out the other day, it's got all these buses in. So I was led to believe that all these buses would be in at the start, but they won't be. So I did add that to the comment section because I don't want to mislead anybody. This one's been taken out because this one isn't even meant to be in the game, apparently, which is a shame. Although, if you can drive the route we just did in this, you probably deserve a gold medal. And there's all these different variations of buses, which you can see there. I'm not completely clear on which ones of these will survive to the release day, but they will be DLC, the majority of these. So we've got MAN, we've got MB, which is the one, the Mercedes-Benz, there's only one variant of that. That will be a DLC, of course. Then we've got the Neoplan. I'm not sure if this one's staying in. This is the Skyliner. There's one variant of that. These bendy buses are coming out. They're not meant to be in. I think they've come over from another game, haven't they, Stephen? I think you had the information on that. Have they come over from Fernbus or the bus? One of those two. Dave says, do you make money on the map? In career mode, you complete routes as part of your company. And when you pick up an order to do a certain route, it will tell you how much you're going to get paid by the end. So you don't sell tickets or anything like that. You just get paid for completing the route. Who are we voting off this week? Yes, Stephen, yeah. Well, why start with a small bus? That you don't have to start with a small bus, but if you want to get used to the island and some of the bendy turns, you might want to start by buying the small bus first and get used to the layout of the map, and then progress onwards from there. So that is the one that you get, the BB. It's a nice little bus, actually. It's quite nice. So that was that. We'll go in that bus because I just want to show you what I was going to show you at the beach. The Skyliner is a DLC, got you. So those guys can get on. They can do whatever they like. We are going to go along here because I want to show you. This animation of this guy running actually does remind me of the original bus sim. So he's abandoned the bus. He's going down here. And you can do this pretty much where you want. So, if you look down there, you can see there's people sunbathing. So, we'll go and take a look. If you're just joining the channel, this is not Beach Simulator, this is actually tourist bus. I just wanted to show you really a few more of the exploration options. Some people sunbathing there. I expect if the sunbathing here led there, this is going to fill him with dread. Some guy in a grey jumpsuit running down the beach. Some ladies getting a tan there. Others reading. but you can go all the way down to the water. So I was trying this. It kept. I was going to see how far I could get into the water, but it just kept popping me. Oh, there you go. It just pops you back. So you can't actually take a dip. If the weather's too hot and you've not got the aircon on, the aircon's not working. But that's a nice effect, isn't it? Look at the wet sand in the sunlight. Just a small touch. No footprints, but the shine of the sand there, the wet sand's pretty good. Just small things, you know. Just add to the immersion. I have seen Coach Strip, Stephen, you're right. Jessica says this guy runs like a pro athlete, yeah. And you know what? I don't know what the temperature is, but he's not going to be really wearing that jacket, realistically, is he? So here's, just for Dave, here is the path. But you can see he was also quite happily jumping off the edge of the mountain. You don't need to take the path. There's no fall damage or anything like that. So you can go, you know, you can explore the buildings. I don't know if there's any buildings you can go in, actually. Let's just take a look. But, you know, you can jump out and you can explore the towns. Let me just get out of here and we'll go and have a look. Oh, running the gauntlet past the BMW. There's the X5. Another 3 Series there. There's an Audi. So make sure you get your car spotting books out. That's a nice touch, the brake lights on the car, look. See if any of these buildings are accessible. So we've got cafes. No, so you can't get in. But you see what I mean? You can pretty much go anywhere. It's like a Mondeo, doesn't it? Some type of Ford. So that was it really. That's all I wanted to show you. So we went from the top end all the way back down the map, as far south as we can get. We went for a look at the lighthouse. We went down to the beach. We had a good look round. So I'm hoping that is just give you another good feel for it. And it's nice to know in the chat that a few of you are picking this up. That's nice to see, because that's what it's all about really. That's why I like to stream it, and it's always great to have you guys in the chat. Let me just have a look at what we've got. The BB is free on PC. Alright, that's interesting, yeah. You can buy a house in the main game, decorate it and buy furniture. You can, Dave. That's in career mode. You can definitely do that in career mode. Right at the beginning, actually, you can do that. This is free play, so you're just driving the buses in this particular mode. But yeah, you're right, you can do that. So that is it. That's what I wanted to show you. We got 2 days to go until it comes out, which is Thursday the 12th. If the patch comes out tomorrow, if it comes out early for us guys that already have access, I will fire it up again tomorrow night and we'll have a quick look and see if we can see what differences there are with the patch. I'm hoping it does come out. I know it's called a day 1 patch, but hopefully they'll release it to anybody that's already got the game. We can take a look at that and see what the differences are. But if not, we'll stream some on Thursday. Hopefully then you've got your hands on it. And yeah, that's it. Hi Black Arrow. Nice to see you in. Okay guys, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a thumbs up if you did, and please hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't done already. I appreciate that. It's been very popular, this game on the channel, so you know, I hope it does well on consoles, because if it does, it will encourage other games similar to come to consoles, and that's the main thing that we want. So keep buying the games, and Hopefully, that's what will happen. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, everybody. I'll talk to you soon. See you on the next one.